has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
All right, hour number 3, Ferrall coast to coast here on a Tuesday. Of course, as we get ready this week for the Scottish Open, PGA Tour going to be heading across the pond. It's actually a DP World Tour event, technically. Then, of course, next week you have the Open Championship at Portrush, which is going to be outstanding. Always good to have Smiley Kaufman back with us. You can check out the Smiley Show, of course, right here on SportsGrid. New episodes multiple times a week. In fact, if you watched the last episode of the Smiley Show like I did, you would have known that Smiley shot, would you shoot a 56? It's what, your home, is that your home course where you shot a 56, Smiley?
No. Man, it's a course called Highland Park downtown here in Birmingham. It's not the most difficult golf course in the world, Mike. It's, I think, 5,900 yards, par 70. Many players have broken 60 in just this random day. And when I was a junior or senior in college, somehow shot 14 under. But it's an easy track. I went out there and shot 64 the other day, and I'm not the same player that I used to be.
Yeah, I thought Charlie had the best question for you. Was this college Smiley, PGA Tour Smiley? Which Smiley was this? So it was college Smiley that got the 56. It was. Let's start with this. You know, I know this has been kind of this is usually a dead period in the calendar for the PGA Tour, right? You have these events like the Rocket in Detroit and the John Deere there at TPC Deer Run. But if you're a diehard Smiley and you're watching every week, like, these have been exciting finishes and exciting tournaments. I mean, 3-man playoff in Detroit, another playoff this week, both Sundays. You had 10-plus guys within 2 or 3 shots of the lead, it seemed like, going into the back 9. I know the names weren't big, Smiley, but the golf watching was outstanding.
Yeah, you can even throw in after the Open Championship when they go play in Minnesota at the 3M. That's another week, too, where the golf scores typically get up to close to 20 under par. Actually, shockingly, the scores didn't get to 20 under par at the John Deere. It actually was a little firmer than it typically is. The year before, Davis Thompson won at 28 under par. So to only see the guys get to 18 was a little bit of a surprise, especially with the cut that was at 5 under, which is, I would say, it's on the high side. So I was a little surprised to see maybe a Max Homa not get to that 19, 20 under par and get the win. So I know we were all kind of rooting for Max to get it done, and it ended up being an exciting finish with Griot being in the playoff, and then Brian Campbell, 2-time winner now.
2-time winner, Brian Campbell now this year. And it's funny because Keith Stewart, who you know, comes on with us too on Wednesdays before the tournaments. And me and him were kind of talking about this last week. Like, isn't this kind of what the PGA Tour envisioned when they set up this kind of new system of top 50, top 75, top 100 keeping cards? Like, they've now made these tournaments in July and in August heading into the playoff bigger events, and you're going to see bigger names probably in the 3M and the Wyndham, because now that crunch to be inside of those numbers, you're going to see more names show up at these places.
You definitely will. I mean, Max Homa is the best example. He's 124 in the FedEx Cup going into the week, jumps 24 spots just outside the top 100. And if you remember, top 100 is what gets you into, have a card for the following year. That's what keeps your job. But top 70 is what makes the playoffs. And it used to be, when I was playing on tour, top 125 made the playoffs. So it like you're saying, it definitely has brought some more players playing later in the summer at some of these events that typically they would be skipping.
We now head to the time on the calendar, Smiley, where we cross the pond for all of the big players, of course. And I'm with you. It is the best. I absolutely love these 2 weeks. You head to the Renaissance Club for the Scottish Open, which is always a fun tournament, which, by the way, the field this week is a major quality signature event type of field with the guys who are going to be there, and then right into the Open Championship next week. Let's start with the Scottish, of course. What do you think of this field? I mean, seeing Scotty playing it, Rory's there, Xander, all the heavy hitters, you got to be excited for this one.
100%. You said it. 8 out of the top 10 players in the world are here this week. And it's a golf course that I think is different. It's a Tom Doak design. I would say that driving the golf ball is going to be important. Typically plays firm, which most of the golf does play firm over there. But you typically get a good amount of wedges on this golf course. And when you go look at past results on who's played well at this place, going back 4 or 5 years ago, Xander Schauffele was a really, really good player at this place, has won at this golf course, finished second place as well. But really, over the last couple of years, it's been Robert McIntyre. I mean, he has been an absolute killer here, winning last year, finishing second the year before. Colin Morikawa also has had some good success here. But if you've kept up with the news, Mike, he's got a new man on the bag this week, old Billy Foster, who's been on many, many tour players' bags. He's back out of retirement and caddying for Colin Morikawa this week.
You know, we kind of talked about that a few weeks ago with Colin and switching around the caddies again. And I think it is interesting because Billy seems like the absolute opposite of what a guy who would be working with Colin Morikawa. Could you see Billy just, I was saying this yesterday, just hit the 4. Just hit the 4.
That's exactly right.
And maybe that's what, and maybe, Smiley, that's what Colin needs here, and he'll do this for the next 2 weeks, and maybe that gets something going for him.
I still feel like Colin Morikawa is probably one of the hardest guys to caddy for because he plays the game a little differently with his irons. He really relies on he's one of the best at hitting his numbers with his irons, but he does it in a different way by adding and taking off a lot of spin. You know, he's a player that can hit a full iron 190 yards and just by spinning the golf ball with a fade. And it's an old school way of playing, and it's a ton of feel involved. And I think it's very difficult to caddy for somebody who's never really known how he typically likes to play. So it'll be interesting how they do week 1. But many times you'll see a new caddy get on the bag and voila, they end up winning the golf tournament.
Who do you like this week at the Scottish?
You know what? It's interesting because, you know, I keep going back to the well thinking that Tommy Fleetwood's eventually going to win on the PGA Tour. And wouldn't it make sense that it was technically a DP World Tour, PGA Tour aligned golf tournament, one that's not in the States, one that's overseas and maybe a little bit more comfortable. He'll have, you know, all the support that you could ever imagine. He's had 4 top 10s at this place, Mike, and he's playing as good as golf of anybody when you go look at his results this year. Tommy, to me, it's hard to bet on him to win, but I feel like if he's ever going to win this year, this seems like a really, really good week for him potentially to contend. But then you also have Scotty Scheffler, right? He's obviously the favorite, a heavy favorite, and rightfully so. He's had 9 straight top 10s. I mean, it's just stupid.
Yeah, and he's kind of changed it up this year, right? I know last year, maybe the last 2 years, he didn't play the Scottish before leading into the Open Championship, so he's kind of changing up his routine this year, getting that week before in. I've kind of got my eye on somebody. It feels like this is a good spot for Sam Burns this week, Smiley. Like it feels
he's
like
and
he's played good here, and he's played good the last month and a half, 2 months. Like it feels like he's been knocking on the door.
I really like that mainly because I think his biggest skills and assets are his driving of the golf ball and his putting. And you have a good week driving out here and you get some wedges in and firm turf. I think that means something to a lot of players. I think he'll hit it better off of firmer turf than he would off of softer turf.
Smiley will be part of it next week, the Open Championship. He's heading over there this weekend, getting excited, Royal Portrush. Smiley Kaufman. Check out the Smiley Show right here on SportsGrid. Back
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play, and players win.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Boys, Miley getting ready to go over across the pond in Northern Ireland for the Open Championship, the only major that matters.
It really is. I know it's your favorite. I would say I think it's a tie. I think that the Open and the Masters are kind of tied for me. I like the golf play in the Open Championship better, like you. I think there's just something about the Masters with me because it's the first, big major of the year, and I think it gets everybody all excited, and the azaleas in Augusta and all that. But the actual physical playing of golf, I think this is the best one in terms of being always the hardest conditions, and I hope it's miserable there next week in Royal Portrush. I hope it's just lashing rain over there when they tee
I
up.
hope it has everything.
Lashing.
I hope
Everything.
wind, rain. Guys suffering in pot bunkers 10 feet, 12 feet deep. I mean, it is so brutal. It's a test of your manhood. I mean, it's no different, in my opinion, than Oakmont was at the U.S. Open. It's so brutal, and it means business, and it'll make a man out of you, grow hair on your chest. It's real golf, as intense as it gets, and they all have problems. And it's, kind of see if you can just stay alive. You know what I mean? By the weekend, can you stay alive and can you be in it? Because it's so brutal to be in it and to actually do well. And, you saw at the U.S. Open, one guy was under par, the guy that won. And that's it, Spawn. And, he had no business winning that thing on Sunday where he was in the middle of that round, and then somehow found a way. And that putt on 18 on the 72nd hole from 65 feet away, that was insane. That's the kind of stuff you're going to see at Portrush.
Can't wait next week. Like I said, we do have that. That'll really take center stage with basically no
Thank
baseball
God.
all week. The Open Championship, we'll have that rolling. All right, let's finish the baseball. The Cubs are in Minnesota to open a series with the Twins. Imanaga against Woods Richardson tonight. Minus 135 for the Cubs, plus 115 for the Twins, and a 9.5.
To be honest with you, I just couldn't go against Imanaga. I think his stuff has been filthy, and he gives up no runs. I kind of like the Cubs and the under 9.5, and I can get that at minus 113. I don't think there's going to be a lot of runs in this game tonight with that guy pitching.
Dodgers still in Milwaukee, of course. They have on a bit of a losing streak now, 4 in a row for the Dodgers, as Clayton Kershaw will face the kid Jacob Mizorowski. I've got this at this moment, minus 110 both ways for the pick'em and an 8.5 total.
Yeah, like I got it at minus $104. I bet the Brewers, and I see it right now across the board at minus 106, so minus 110, whatever it is. I bet the Brewers. The Dodgers, I know how good they are. Don't kid yourself. I'm not stupid, but and I know Kershaw's pitching tonight. However, they're not playing well. They're not scoring runs. They're not winning. They're on a losing streak. They got their ass beat last night. They don't look good right now. If the Brewers are ever going to pick them off, they did it last night. It'd be again tonight with this kid throwing, because the Dodger lineup is going to be in store for a rough night. This kid can flat out pitch, and he throws 100 miles an hour just about every pitch.
Pirates still in Kansas City. Of course, they've lost 4 in a row, too. They'll have Mitch Don't Call Me Helen Keller against Seth Lugo, minus 145 for the Royals, plus 120 for the Buccos, and a 7.5.
Yeah, look, I know they talk about Helen Keller being this great pitcher and his, ERA and everything, and that's why all these teams want him. The Cubs, the Mets, they all want him. And I know that his 3.6 is fine. The problem is Lugo's a 2.6. Lugo's better, and I like the under and the Royals. I mean, the guy, what do you need to know? He's 3-10. And the Pirates have lost 4 in a row. When don't they lose? They lose every night.
They lose every night. They certainly do. Blue Jays have won 9 in a row, going for 10 tonight in Chicago against the White Sox with the Basset Hound against Aaron Savale, minus 190 for the Jays, plus 160 for the White Sox, and an 8.5.
I mean, I'm run lining it at minus 120 with the Jays again and the Basset Hound. I mean, this just stares out at me as just another win. Just another one, 10 in a row.
It does have that look to it. The Nationals' first game since they cleaned house, they're in St. Louis against the Cardinals. Jake Irvin and Sonny Gray, minus 215 for the Redbirds, plus 180 for the Nats, and an 8.5.
Cardinals run line, minus $107. Again, the Nationals stink, and Sonny Gray is the business. He's the entire business. He's their best player, best pitcher.
Certainly is. Cleveland still in Houston against the Astros. Joey Cantillo against Hunter Brown, who, of course, has been excellent. Minus 200 for Houston, plus 165 for the Guardians, and a 7.5.
I mean, this is automatic. Hunter Brown, run line, plus $105. They're going to smoke their ass. This guy Cantillo might as well be Cantina. Take me to the cantina for some chips and tequila, because I'm going to need it after this beatdown tonight. They beat him last night. They had lost 10 in a row, and I hit it at plus 140. I go the exact opposite way tonight with the Astros. They'll kill him.
Slide one more in. Rangers have Nasty Nate Eovaldi against the Angels in Anaheim with Jose Soriano. Minus 120. Rangers are road favorites and an 8.5.
Yeah, I bet this this morning. It's down to like minus 119 right now. I bet Eovaldi at the Big A.
3 other games on the left coast when we come back, including late night in Sacramento, where the Braves try to get off the deck against the A's. And then, yes, we have long balls tonight. Tons of long balls on a Dinger Tuesday. I've even got the Dinger Tuesday board with the top home run bet of every team tonight. The lowest rated home run bet. So we even have that.
And I have action on 2 of those 3 remaining West Side stories.
Ooh,
I bet on 2 of them.
Good.
5-year contract. It's just, I bring it up only because who cares, Scott? It's just mine. Jaren Jackson Jr., good player. Don't get me wrong. $50 million a year. You know, we all bitch and complain about the Juan Soto deals and the Ohtani deals, and you get guys like Jaren Jackson making $50 million a year.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
There's now 7 different directors of analytics for like the Raptors, the Chiefs, where you can see us all like workshopping these ideas in these threads because golf is so ubiquitous amongst gamblers. And so that was like the most popular non-poker forum was the golf sub-forum. And then once we started thinking about once I realized in 2013 that Brody's book was coming out, I just thought stroke chain putting was it.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
I'm saying I like their odds because I think they're insane at this point, but I do think they are a very viable option.
I don't even think their odds are that insane. Honestly, they won 64 games.
So you like this move for them?
Well, so the odds...
Regardless of the odds, just from a basketball.
Yeah, the odds have nothing to do with it. They won 64 games. They were eliminated by the Pacers, who lost Halliburton. The other 60-win team was the Celtics, and they lost Tatum. I think...
And the Knicks don't have a coach.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
You want to take that gap year and trade LeBron James somewhere and get value, legitimate value for a 41-year-old player, LeBron James, I still think, in return. I think you have to explore that because if LeBron wants to win a title, we've heard so much buzz for, I think, 3 or 4 years now, Kevin, about Stephen Curry and LeBron James wanting to eventually play together. This might be that moment here. If you're the Golden State Warriors, why not make that call? I think that's something to watch out for.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
You can't be serious. Like, you're going to draw me right back into the golf with that comment. You're telling me that people are betting on your boy Fleetwood Mac to win a golf tournament? That guy, I've won more golf tournaments than him. Honestly, I won junior golf titles, you name it. I got trophies all over my room as a child. That guy hasn't won a golf tournament in his life. Honestly.
He's, I will tell you now, ahead of tomorrow's Golf Wednesday, he is a very popular selection amongst the, all the golf gurus out there on social media. Everybody likes Tommy Fleetwood this week.
I'll bet him to choke again.
Very possible.
Can you bet that?
It's very hard to bet him to win when he never wins. It's just extremely difficult to do. And people are going to line up next week, too, at Portrush. They're going to line up to bet Tommy
Good
Fleetwood
luck with that. He can't win a tournament, let alone a major.
Yeah, very surprising how much everyone's backing him. All right, 3 games on the left coast. Arizona and San Diego again. Merrill Lynch Kelly against Nick Pivetta tonight. Friars minus 135, plus 115 for the Snakes and a 7.5.
You know, I couldn't help but take the Snakes again, right? They're 3-1 against them this year. Mm-hmm. They beat them last night. And, I'm watching a game and they're talking about Yu Darvish like he was Whitey Ford. And they beat his ass. And then they got Merrill Lynch Kelly going tonight. And then everybody told me today, Pivetta's undeniable. And Pivetta never loses at home and all this other stuff. I mean, at the price I got it, I went again with the Snakes and Kelly. And, did they not have Naylor hitting home runs last night? Do they not? They beaten them 3 times. They seem to have somewhat their number, right? So I went with Arizona again with another upset. I actually bet it. Like I was a little nervous, but I went for it. I just didn't have faith. I saw him last night do nothing. I mean, Machado was the only one that did anything. So Arizona went in there and beat him. Why not beat him again?
The Phillies are still at Oracle in San Francisco. Taijuan Walker and Robbie Ray tonight. Minus 155 for the Giants, plus 130 for the Phillies, and an 8.5.
Yeah, I just can't get off of Robbie Ray. Like, isn't he like 9-3 or something? He wins. And the problem is, Tijuana, do you wanna? is just not effective for Philly, right? So dangerous because, Philadelphia has the bats, but against Robbie Ray, I still kind of like the Giants. I didn't bet it.
Yeah, it's Walker stinks. I know he's having a little bit of a better year this year, but he stinks. And finally, the Braves.
I don't think so. Let me just say, his ERA.
Walker.
Well, I guess his ERA is not that bad. He's 3-5. It's not the worst record I've ever seen in my life.
They've kept him hidden this year. He hasn't pitched as much. He's done. They've moved him in and out of the bullpen. They've done everything. They've been hiding Taijuan Walker, and with good reason, because he sucks.
They should keep hiding him.
The Braves are in Sacramento against the A's. Man, the Braves could use some wins. They have been just brutal. Tonight, they will send this Diddler Fuentes out there against Jeffrey Springs. Man, this is the gas can game of the night. Minus 120 for Atlanta, even money for the A's.
But look,
10.5.
I mean, the Braves have lost, like 4 in a row. They've won like 3 games in 10. They've been outscored by like 25 runs. They are terrible. And Springs is actually the A's best pitcher. At the end of the day, he's got the best numbers. They're paying all that money to Severino. He stinks. He couldn't win at home if he tried. The fans hate him now. And he wants out of there so bad he could smell it. I bet on the A's today to beat the Braves at minus $1.02. I bet it.
Let's go. Look, one thing about Springs, he does give up homers, albeit because they're in that park in Sacramento.
So does Fuentes.
Fuentes, we're going after him here. Let's get the taters cooking for you here tonight. We're going to start. I'm going Kyle Tucker in Minnesota against the Simeon Woods Richardson, plus 330 for him. Tatis has 4 homers off of Merrill Lynch Kelly in his career. Let's make it 5. Plus 400 for Tatis. The Butler did it against Fuentes in Sacramento. Plus 400 for him. A cruise missile on the day he goes into the home run derby at 475. Romy Gonzalez has been hot for the Red Sox. Plus 480 over the Monster. And Julio Rodriguez plus 600 at Yankee Stadium against Will Warren. He'll take him yard 2. There you go. Home run.
And give me Pharrell Arena to hit one out as well.
Five-year contract. It's just, I bring it up only because who cares, Scott? It's just mine. Jaren Jackson Jr., good player. Don't get me wrong. $50 million a year. We all bitch and complain about the Juan Soto deals and the Ohtani deals, and you get guys like Jaren Jackson making $50 million a year.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
There's now 7 different directors of analytics for like the Raptors, the Chiefs, where you can see us all like workshopping these ideas in these threads because golf is so ubiquitous amongst gamblers. And so that was like the most popular non-poker forum was the golf sub-forum. And then once we started thinking about once I realized in 2013 that Brody's book was coming out, I just thought stroke chain putting was it.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Saying I like their odds because I think they're insane at this point, but I do think they are a very viable option.
I don't even think their odds are that insane, honestly. They won 64 games.
So you like this move for them?
Well, so the odds...
Regardless of the odds, just from a basketball.
Yeah, the odds have nothing to do with it. They won 64 games. They were eliminated by the Pacers, who lost Halliburton. The other 60-win team was the Celtics, and they lost Tatum. I think...
And the Knicks don't have a coach.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
You want to take that gap year and trade LeBron James somewhere and get value, legitimate value for a 41-year-old player, LeBron James, I still think, in return. I think you have to explore that because if LeBron wants to win a title, we've heard so much buzz for, I think, 3 or 4 years now, Kevin, about Stephen Curry and LeBron James wanting to eventually play together. This might be that moment here. If you're the Golden State Warriors, why not make that call? I think that's something to watch out for.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
So, who is the favorite on each team to hit a dinger tonight around the show?
Of course, it is Dinger Tuesday. We gave you the picks that I like tonight, but here it is. Look at this. The favorite on every team: Suarez, Kurtz, Riley, Gunnar Henderson, Trevor Story, Suzuki, Benintendi. Ellie is on there. Kyle Stowers, Yelich, Buxton, Soto, Judge, Schwarber, Cruise Missile, Tatis. Look at this, Scotty. Every team. Let's have a big night. Can we get a lot of dingers tonight? Big flies for us here on a summer Tuesday?
Yeah, how about
Come
a
on.
Suzuki and an Ellie? And Buxton got named to that team
Look at
today
that.
as well. And this is the
Wood
rest of
Doctor.
them. This is
I mean, the
unbelievable.
Wood Doctor plus 520 for the Wood Doctor tonight. I mean, you got to be. I like that Caminero, too.
I like
against Flaherty
Caminero
and
for
the-
sure. I saw him today. A lot of people betting on him. That number's gone down. It was at 440
Yes.
earlier.
Yep, it was.
And
we love
Seager
Holmes.
was another one I like. 430 for
Yeah.
Seager. I need him to hit a home run tonight, and I need them to win that game with Uvalde going.
Let's go. There you go, some baseball. I got a lot of NBA for you today. A lot's happened over the last couple days since you were here. Yesterday, there was that 3-team trade with the Clippers, Jazz, and Heat. John Collins to the Clippers, Norman Powell to Miami, Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson, and a second to Utah. Utah's going to buy out Love and Anderson, Scotty, so they're going to get to go wherever they choose. But I guess really Collins to the Clippers and Powell to the Heat, the main pieces there.
Yeah, like, first of all, Love and Anderson are both shot. That's just all there is to it. It's the end of the road. Now they're just getting paychecks for some reason. I think they're both finished. Collins had really good numbers in Utah with that terrible team. And the bottom line is the Heat needed Norman Powell. The way he can shoot and score, they needed that. And I wasn't wrong about Dunkin' Donuts. They got rid of him. Like, remember when we were talking about him before I left? I said, They said they were trying to work something out. I said, I don't believe that. He's already been there, done that, and really, at the end of the day, done nothing in Miami. I mean, he's hit some big threes, but I know when they were going to the finals and they were good with Butler and everything else, he, I think, was a more significant piece on that team because they had to worry about other guys and it would leave him open for threes and he'd dagger. But once they lost Butler, I don't think he mattered anymore and never came up big for them ever. So I wasn't surprised at all they got rid of him, to be honest with you. But I think they need Norman Powell badly on South Beach.
They need some kind of shooting, that's for sure. The Kevin Durant trade became official. They needed 7 teams to get that across the line. It's the first 7-team trade in NBA history, the Kevin Durant trade to Houston. So,
I don't understand that at all, and I really don't get it. I can dig that he's a great scorer and shooter and all the rest, and I know for a fact I've seen it with my own eyes what he did in Brooklyn and what he did in Phoenix, which was scored a lot and did nothing else, and then took his usual 2 months off a season. So he goes on 2 vacations a year. You pay him a ton of money. You don't win a title. That's what happens. Now, when he played with Curry and Green and Thompson, they won titles because they had it all around him. Now, this Houston team, everyone thinks they have it all around him, but we saw what happened to them last year, this season in the playoffs. Golden State pimped their ass.
They certainly did when push came to shove.
Overrated is what they are.
Overrated.
Great coach, great players,
Precisely.
overrated. They got their ass cooked in the playoffs. That's what happened.
It sounds like the Phoenix Suns are going to eventually buy out Bradley Beal. He's exploring his options with other teams in anticipation of that buyout. Man, that worked out well. The Bradley Beal era in Phoenix also. Chris Paul says that this year, which will be his 21st year in the NBA, will be his last, allegedly. This will be the last year that he plays. So why not have them both go to the Clippers, Scotty? Beal and Chris Paul. Just send them all there to LA.
Okay, well,
and finish out with
that
the
won't work, okay? So just so we're clear, they didn't do anything in Phoenix or San Antonio. I would say Paul's a better player at this point. They've both been around forever. And I think Chris still has it. He can still run the point and run it well and give the ball to the right people to finish, he can still, produce buckets. That's just all there is to it. Chris Paul can still play. Beal has become like an old guy to me with his socks above his shins. Like he's become like that old guy with the black socks on. He really has. And I don't want to become that guy. But his game is, evaporated like water. I mean, honestly, like, you remember when he scored 30 a night? When he was with the Wizards, that's all he did was score 30 a night. He went to Phoenix. What, did he start golfing or something? He don't play ball no more. He plays golf. I have friends like that. They used to play basketball, and now they golf and smoke weed. That's what happened to Bradley Beal. I guarantee you, first of all, that will not work. And the Clippers never win anything. You know what the Clippers are? They're Fleetwood Mac. They never win anything. There you go. Line of the day so far.
So far, indeed. Knicks introduced Mike Brown as their new head coach today. I'll have some of that for you tomorrow, some of that press conference of him talking up going to the Knicks. 4 years, $40 million he'll get. The Knicks owe Tibbs $30. That's a lot of money invested in the coaching ranks. $70 million.
The guy that left, that they fired for no reason, and got $30 million golden parachute. The guy that got the job got 10 a year. And he'll be lucky if he's there in the fourth year, because they fire a guy every 3-4 years in New York. It don't matter who you are. You can go to the Eastern Conference Finals and lose in 6 games, and you still get fired in New York because the owner is a freak.
Yeah, I said to Coach yesterday, that can't be how they drew it up the day that they fired Thibodeau, was that they were going to hire Mike Brown. That just could not have been what they thought they were going to get.
And they even ran stories that said they were talking to Dawn Staley, like we were supposed to buy that they were going to bring a woman in to coach the team. No offense, but they don't have the stones to hire a woman in New York to run the Knicks. They don't have the stones. Who will be the first? I thought it would have been Popovich. I really did, that he would hire the first woman coach in the NBA. I never once in my lifetime will see the Knicks have a woman coach. That won't happen. That's like the White House. Same thing. You can talk all you want about it, but it never happens.
The Jordan Clarkson deal with the Knicks is for facts. 1 year, $3.6 million for Jordan Clarkson next year with New York. Pacers president Kevin Pritchard says Tyrese Halliburton will not play next season. No matter what. Doesn't matter.
What a revelation.
Doesn't matter how long they go. Doesn't matter what happens. He's not playing. I don't know.
When guys tear their Achilles, they don't play for a year.
Yes, that's precisely right. Paolo Banchero gets the 5-year max rookie extension, $287 million. Paolo Banchero in Orlando.
He is, the happiest guy. He's happier than Mickey and Minnie Mouse. $287 million. He puts up gigantic numbers, and his team never wins.
His team never wins. But they're like a favorite in the East this year because of all these guys hurt. Because no Halliburton, no
Good luck.
Tatum.
Good luck. That's not happening either. They have a better chance of having a woman coach there than they do winning.
Kyle Lowry will be back to the 76ers on a 1-year deal.
Speaking
It'll be his 20th
finished
season in the NBA.
He's finished. He should be playing with me in the morning, 6 a.m. tip.
There is Summer League action tonight, both in Utah and in California. We will tell you about that. I bet you watched. You watched that Edgecombe dropping that 28 the other night on Saturday?
I did, and I watched Ace Bailey last night, Duncan.
Five-year contract. It's just, I bring it up only because who cares, Scott? It's just mine. Jaren Jackson Jr., good player. Don't get me wrong. $50 million a year. We all bitch and complain about the Juan Soto deals and the Ohtani deals, and you get guys like Jaren Jackson making $50 million a year.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
There's now 7 different directors of analytics for like the Raptors, the Chiefs, where you can see us all like workshopping these ideas in these threads because golf is so ubiquitous amongst gamblers. And so that was like the most popular non-poker forum was the golf sub-forum. And then once we started thinking about once I realized in 2013 that Brody's book was coming out, I just thought stroke chain putting was it.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Saying I like their odds because I think they're insane at this point, but I do think they are a very viable option.
I don't even think their odds are that insane. Honestly, they won 64 games.
So you like this move for them?
Well, so the odds,
regardless of the odds, just from a basketball.
Yeah, the odds have nothing to do with it. They won 64 games. They were eliminated by the Pacers, who lost Halliburton. The other 60-win team was the Celtics, and they lost Tatum. Like I think,
and the Knicks don't have a coach.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
You want to take that gap year and trade LeBron James somewhere and get value, legitimate value for a 41-year-old player, LeBron James, I still think, in return. I think you have to explore that because if LeBron wants to win a title, we've heard so much buzz for, I think, 3 or 4 years now, Kevin, about Stephen Curry and LeBron James wanting to eventually play together. This might be that moment here. If you're the Golden State Warriors, why not make that call? I think that's something to watch out for.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
I will say this, Garber High, that I did see a lot of, cats and Panther stuff, like, congrat and billboards, and everywhere I went, there were, shirts and you name it, hoodies, the whole deal. Everywhere I turned, there was stuff about the Cats down there. And I saw nothing, literally not a thing about the Marlins or the Dolphins or the Canes or anybody. It's all Cats. They call them the Cats down there. Not even the Panthers. They call them the Cats.
We've kind of reached that dead zone of the hockey calendar where it kind of there's not much there.
Hockey's over
for the next.
Okay, so
for the next couple
that draft
of
was
months.
that draft was stale bread too. Okay, so no one cares about hockey in mid-July. Let's just put that out there right now today. So, we're going to give you a couple hockey stories that don't matter here coming up, and we'll just see how many people get excited about it, as in none.
Vegas Summer League, of course, will start on Thursday. Now, the Summer League overall has begun, but Vegas will start Thursday. I know you mentioned this to DeCourcy earlier. Tickets for that opening day Laker-Dallas game are going for $2K on Thursday night at the Mac.
2,500 courtside. Yeah.
2,500 courtside for the, of course, Cooper Flag Summer League debut. And
600 upper deck.
Now, Bronny, they've played 2 games already. One of them, Bronny didn't play. And then the other game, he played 10 or 11 minutes. So I guess he's playing tonight. I don't know, but
probably.
Bronny don't even play. So
let me tell you this. Here's the one thing I noticed. So I watched the game last night. I don't know if you noticed this or not, but even the Salt Lake Summer League sucks so bad. Let's just get real. That even the camera looks like somebody put a piece of film over it.
They're not even
it comes
playing
in cloudy.
that.
Have you seen the games? They're cloudy.
Well, they're not even playing that where the Jazz play. They're not even playing it at the.
They're in some Huntsman club.
They're playing it where Utah, I think, plays. Aren't they playing it on the Utes court there?
Yeah.
Well, why?
Yeah.
What? Just unbelievable. At least the California one.
Let me tell you where it is. They play. Let me get this straight, because I'm watching. I've been watching these games. I watched last night. I was like, oh, that's the California Classic, the one with the Lakers. The one in Salt Lake.
The Huntsman Center, which is where the Utes play. The Huntsman
The John
Center.
Huntsman Center, whatever that is. I watched the game last night. You could barely see it. It looked like there was smoke in the room or something. It was awful.
The Jazz did beat the Grizzlies 112-111. Bryce Sensabaugh had 37 points. Ace Bailey had 18 and 7 boards. Neither of those guys will play for the Jazz tonight in the Summer League finale.
Give me the
Here's
Thunder.
what you have in Utah will play the Thunder, and Memphis will play Philly. That's in Utah tonight.
Philly.
Grizz -1 and the Jazz -3 for those games. Those are at 7 and 9 Eastern. And then at 7 and 10 Eastern in California, Heat, Warriors, Lakers, Spurs.
Give me the Dubs and give me the Spurs and a 5-piece nug with tangy barbecue. I like I got to be honest. In my opinion, the Spurs have all the young talent. So that's how I'm basing this game. And then the Dubs at home, and they got young talent as well. They have all these young players that can flat out play. So give me those two teams in the Cali Classic. It's like a California roll with a shot of sake.
Everybody does love California roll, especially in
I just
summer.
had some down in Miami. I had a bunch of them, and spicy tuna rolls as well. I went like the guy challenged me. He said, "Well, you don't do sushi, bro? I'll eat anything. Seafood diet. Seafood. I eat it. Put it out there. I'll eat it. I don't care what it is."
You get the California roll in South Florida, huh? You went with that mix, California roll.
Why not? And then I told you I ate lobster. I had shrimps the size of my feet.
Everybody loves shrimp the size of your feet down.
You know what I mean?
I tell you, I cooked I did a little lobster myself on Sunday right here.
Oh, see, everybody's doing it.
I had it in it, cracking the shell, got it out there,
Don't you love
put it on
lobster?
the grill. Put it on the grill. Got that butter on it. I mean, it was tremendous. It was like a real surf and turf experience we had.
Good job by you all around.
Now,
high grades right there.
I got good news for you. I know that it seems like there's not going to be a lot going on the next couple of weeks, but guess what started today in college football?
Media days.
Talking season has begun. The Big 12 media days began today down in Texas.
Liar.
So there was like 8 coaches talk today. You got 8 more coaches tomorrow. So we'll play a couple of these guys tomorrow on Coast to Coast, and of course the great Brett Yormark, who runs the Big 12. So, and then next week is the SEC, which is like a whole week extravaganza because they've got like 30 teams in the SEC now. So you need a whole week to get through.
Is Nick Saban still the only guy that matters when he talks, and he's not in the SEC anymore?
Right.
He's still the most powerful guy in the conference.
He's not even a coach, and he's the most powerful guy. And then the week after is the Big Ten and the ACC. So we've got a few weeks of talking.
The Big Ten wins all the titles.
They certainly have been lately. Arch Manning, of course, will be very highly talked about player this year. He's the most bet player for the Heisman so far. He's the favorite. He's plus 700. Garrett Nussmeier of LSU is the second choice. Get serious. That kid's got no shot of winning the Heisman this year. No shot.
And every year we hear about LSU, and Kelly's been down there, butchering that job.
Yep.
Flat out.
Certainly has.
That's all there is to it.
I mean, some of these names. This Arch Manning better win this year. I mean, Cade Klubnik, Drew Aller, DJ. This kid better. If he's the real deal, he better win the Heisman this year. With all these other guys that are hanging around on this board.
Well, how about
this
people
is Arch's
that have
year?
Said, even stuff that I have relayed on this show about if he's so good, and I think he's better. I do think he's better than Ewers. But Sarkisian never played him. He always picked Ewers over him. And look what Ewers, wasn't Ewers like the last player drafted in the NFL draft?
Five-year contract. It's just, I bring it up only because who cares, Scott? It's just Jaren Jackson Jr., good player. Don't get me wrong. $50 million a year. You know, we all bitch and complain about the Juan Soto deals and the Ohtani deals, and you get guys like Jaren Jackson making $50 million a year.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
There's now 7 different directors of analytics for like the Raptors, the Chiefs, where you can see us all like workshopping these ideas in these threads because golf is so ubiquitous amongst gamblers. And so that was like the most popular non-poker forum was the golf sub-forum. And then once we started thinking about once I realized in 2013 that Brody's book was coming out, I just thought stroke chain putting was it.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
I'm saying I like their odds because I think they're insane at this point, but I do think they are a very viable option.
I don't even think their odds are that insane. Honestly, they won 64 games.
So you like this move for them?
Well, so the odds...
Regardless of the odds, just from a basketball.
Yeah, the odds have nothing to do with it. They won 64 games. They were eliminated by the Pacers, who lost Halliburton. The other 60-win team was the Celtics, and they lost Tatum. I think...
And the Knicks don't have a coach.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
You want to take that gap year and trade LeBron James somewhere and get value, legitimate value for a 41-year-old player, LeBron James, I still think, in return. I think you have to explore that because if LeBron wants to win a title, we've heard so much buzz for, I think, 3 or 4 years now, Kevin, about Stephen Curry and LeBron James wanting to eventually play together. This might be that moment here. If you're the Golden State Warriors, why not make that call? I think that's something to watch out for.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Everybody loves leftovers.
Everybody does love leftovers. I got a bunch of stuff here. Oklahoma Athletic Director Joe Castiglione will retire from his full-time role. He's been the longest tenured current AD in major college sports. See ya. You mentioned this earlier. Notre Dame signs class of 2026 wide receiver Devin Fitzgerald. He's the son of Larry. That's actually 3 former NFL players, Scotty, that they got their kids in this draft class. Larry Fitzgerald's kid, Jermichael Finley's kid.
A little surprised he didn't go to Pitt. He's a piker. He went to Notre Dame. Better school.
Listen, when you take that visit on that campus and you see that touchdown Jesus up on the Golden Dome, it's just there's no shot. The Steelers and T.J. Watt are allegedly still very far apart in contract talks with Camp a few weeks away. I said this, me and Cam, or maybe me and Adam on Thursday. There's no way that T.J. Watt's not going to be playing for the Steelers week 1
That's right.
Of the season. There's just
They'll
no
get
way.
the deal done when the time is right, and the time right now is not right. Remember how long they waited for Aaron Rodgers? They didn't even blink.
Yeah.
They waited months. They're going to do the same thing with this guy, and they're going to give him his money, guaranteed.
The new Netflix quarterback show came out today. If you have Netflix, you can watch it, Scotty, which I know you do. That follows 3 quarterbacks from last year, Kirk Cousins, Joe Burrow. No idea off the top of my head who the third one is because I'm probably not going to watch. Cousins said in the show that he felt that he was misled by the Falcons when they drafted Michael Penix Jr. Well, no kidding. Do you think so? What a stunning revelation.
Look, he wasn't misled with the money they gave him. I mean, the guy makes more money than anyone alive that doesn't play.
Jared Goff's the other quarterback, by the way. Jared Goff, Joe Burrow, and Kirk Cousins. If you want to watch their seasons, that Netflix show, Quarterback, is out.
Well, the only one worth watching is Joey Silk.
Joey Silk. Next year's projected top pick in the NHL draft, Gavin McKenna, he commits to play at Penn State. He will play for the Nittany Lions this coming season. Good luck to them. The Penguins are taking calls on Brian Rust and Ricard Raquel.
Raquel
Welch there. Jordan Spieth's on baby watch, but will play the Open Championship, the British Open as we call it here. Remember he left the Travelers a few weeks ago with that neck injury after the first round. Didn't even finish the first round. He hopes
I don't bet on anyone with a bad neck 3 weeks ago or that's having a baby. I give him no shot.
That is a big double whammy right there with both of those guys. Yannick Sinner advanced to the Wimbledon quarters after the Grigor Dimitrov retiring. We talked about that earlier. Cam needed a break when that happened. And Tyson Fury claims that a Usyk trilogy fight set for April of 2026. Yeah, do you care about Usyk fighting Tyson Fury again, Scott? Are you in on that? Do you want to see that or no?
We were right about one thing, that he would, when he retired, again, that he was not finished boxing.
No.
And Usyk beat his ass twice, and he'll beat him again when they fight.
I have one more thing that piggyback with Sinner. Sinner will play that American kid Shelton tomorrow morning, Scotty, 9:30 East. Sinner and Shelton in the quarterfinals at Wimbledon, and Joker will play that Cobelli in the other quarterfinal tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and Joker will win. Fritz and Alcatraz won today. Sabalenka in 3 sets. And Anisimova, believe it or not, who's American, she also advanced today in the women's quarters.
Right. So Fritz will play Alcatraz in the semis on Friday.
And he'll get
Fritz
his ass beat.
Yes, he will. He will.
Fritz is always like a bridesmaid. This guy makes it to the semis and quarters of every tournament and loses. Ferrall finished. White Sox former closer and World Series champ Bobby Jenks passed away at 44 with stomach cancer. That is crazy. That is young. 44. Bobby Jenks, I couldn't believe it. Cowboys wide receiver Cavante Turpin arrested for possession of chronic. That would be reefer and also carrying a weapon. I got a problem with the weapon. I really don't have a problem with the reefer as long as he's not smoking it while he's driving. Then they'll pop you, blood test you, and you're going. You're done. It's a DUI. But if you're just driving with a bag of funk and you just went to the funk store to get it and you got a weapon, I get it. But you can't be rolling with a weapon. I say you can be rolling with the bag of funk if you're just going home with it. So I think that's overrated, that bust. At least 50 people in Chicago have been shot, 6 fatally over the 4th of Ferrall weekend. When don't they shoot 50 people in Chicago? Every weekend. It doesn't matter if it's a holiday weekend. It doesn't matter when. There's just people getting shot in Chicago all the time. 3 killed as 13 hit in a gun battle in Philadelphia days after 8 others were injured in another mass shooting there. Front Office Sports Today, then GTD, In-Game Live, Sports Rage, Carver and Lacey all tonight on the TV and radio side. Search Ferrall for my app. It's bad. I've seen him on the trail.
5-year contract. It's just, I bring it up only because who cares, Scott? It's just mine. Jaren Jackson Jr., good player. Don't get me wrong. $50 million a year. We all bitch and complain about the Juan Soto deals and the Ohtani deals, and you get guys like Jaren Jackson making $50 million a year.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
There's now 7 different directors of analytics for like the Raptors, the Chiefs, where you can see us all like workshopping these ideas in these threads because golf is so ubiquitous amongst gamblers. And so that was like the most popular non-poker forum was the golf subforum. And then once we started thinking about once I realized in 2013 that Brody's book was coming out, I just thought stroke chain putting was it.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
I'm saying I like their odds because I think they're insane at this point, but I do think they are a very viable option.
I don't even think their odds are that insane. Honestly, they won 64 games.
So you like this move for them?
Well, so the odds...
Regardless of the odds, just from a basketball.
Yeah, the odds have nothing to do with it. They won 64 games. They were eliminated by the Pacers, who lost Halliburton. The other 60-win team was the Celtics, and they lost Tatum. I think...
And the Knicks don't have a coach.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
You want to take that gap year and trade LeBron James somewhere and get value, legitimate value for a 41-year-old player, LeBron James, I still think, in return. I think you have to explore that because if LeBron wants to win a title, we've heard so much buzz for, I think, 3 or 4 years now, Kevin, about Stephen Curry and LeBron James wanting to eventually play together. This might be that moment here. If you're the Golden State Warriors, why not make that call? I think that's something to watch out for.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.